the Hello Steve Tech podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It is back to basics this week with just me and Nick.
We got rid of Randy.
Removed
Finally,
Randy.
we fired
Everyone
him.
hated him, so we just got rid of him.
It was no. We love Randy. Randy's on vacation at the moment. I will be on vacation next week. But this is a coup. We've gotten rid of Randy for the week. We're going to have a no Randy episode. So what does that mean?
We're just going to only talk about Randy this week and all of our personal gripes with him, both in personal appearance and personal beliefs. So
exactly.
The important thing to remember here, it's not professional. This is all personal attacks we're giving today.
Exactly. And all those come at the very end of the episode. So you have to stay tuned to the very end of the episode.
Right. You thought it would be that easy, didn't you, Randy? Who's definitely listening / watching this later because he's like, what did they say? What did they say?
There are definitely no timestamps in the description below that will lead you directly to the Randy Rant. But
it is a shame, though, because I genuinely wanted to ask him about, because he works in government security, and this was a topic I wanted to dive into last week, but we never got into it. You may have not been aware, but the U.S. government is considering banning TikTok, which, because it's owned by a Chinese company and because Nick is like, cringy dancing, we're going to ban that? Yeah, I have no real clue of to what exactly the Chinese government is able to get out of people using the TikTok app. I don't use it. I tried it once about a year and a half ago, and I just couldn't get into it. I like the YouTube compilations, but that's about it. And, I'm trying to think of why, but at the same time, I'm not in love with the app at all, so I won't be that upset if it's gone. But how do you feel about it, Nick?
well, the last thing I remember, once again, still off social media for the next week or so. So I heard a little bit about that in the news, but like not like understanding the tech side of it. I remember they had a scandal with the copy and paste thing in iOS 14. Is that kind of what this whole thing is related to? Or
I think it's part of it. I really should have read more about it, but basically iOS 14 has been exposing a ton of apps that are doing that. And I think TikTok was the first major one, basically. They were analyzing people's copy and pasted keyboard things, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what they can get from that info that the government feels the need to step in. If it has some type of like location tracking thing, or if it has some type of like using the microphone when people aren't using it. But even then, I feel like Google and Amazon are doing that already. So are we going to ban them too? Or, what is TikTok doing so different? I don't know.
Well, isn't TikTok owned by like a Chinese corporation that's like owned by the state?
Yeah, I believe it has some direct ties to the government, but I'm confused what I would love to see what data they're getting out of this app. I'm just trying to figure out, they're like, okay, cringy dancing. How can we use this? All right, now we know
the password to this person's account that they used to copy, and then...
okay.
I don't know.
That might be it.
I don't know what's on my clipboard. I guess that's the scary part, right? Like, you copy something, and it's a universal clipboard, right? So if I copy something on my iPad, I don't know if that ends up on what TikTok can read on the phone.
True.
But I guess it's just a security concern, right? And at the end of the day, what's the government supposed to do? Well, not the government's actually ever do this, but they're supposed to protect their people, right? That's what governments are supposed to do. 101 civics class,
right.
And it's a security concern, and I can see the security concern. Just like if the U.S. was, just like China, actually, I believe they banned certain U.S.-based apps, right? Like,
tons of them.
Yeah, so I don't think it's unprecedented. Obviously, China is not the same type of government as the U.S. is, and I think that's getting into a little bit of the political side. But but without getting too far into that, I think it is a little interesting that a free country like the U.S. would be banning an app that's owned by a different country. And, I can see the national security implications, like, what was it, Edward Snowden in 2013? Like the things that our devices can do that we don't know what our devices can do is kind of scary. And so I wouldn't put it past a state actor to, do some fairly malicious stuff with an app, a fairly nondescript app. But I don't know. I don't know the date, and I'd love to see whatever's going on. But I didn't think you were going to be talking about TikTok here, Drew. I thought you were going to be talking about the other T social media that had a bit of an issue.
Wait, which one?
I don't know, something about verifying and,
Oh,
free Bitcoin.
I literally thought you were referring to Twitch because I got a copyright strike there, and now I realized, oh wait, there's Twitter too. Yeah. So you have not been on Twitter.
I haven't. I've been so happy. I missed all of this. I saw it in
It sounds like you missed the hack of the century.
I did. Oh my goodness, that was so funny to watch a YouTube video talking about the Twitter hack, and like they're talking about it like I think it was like a day after it happened, and they're like this happened and this happened, and I'm like, oh
yeah, I was on Twitter watching the whole thing unfold as it was happening, and the first one I saw was from Elon, and I had instant doubt as soon as I saw it, just because I read the tweet and I felt like I didn't understand it correctly. Like I looked at the tweet and it was like, I'm feeling generous. I want to send back twice as much Bitcoin to anyone who sends it to this address for the next 30 minutes. And I was like, that doesn't sound like Elon. He's been like just memeing
here's
Bitcoin
money.
for the yeah, that he would just like give back money to everyone. And I read it and I was like, wait, am I understanding that correctly? Did he just say he wants to? Did he mean like give it to charity, or did he mean like give it right back to the person? And after a while, I was looking under the other tweets. I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense, because Elon has not been very like active on the crypto side of things for a long time. Why would he just suddenly come forward and be like, I'm gonna give away all the Bitcoin? So as soon as I saw that, I was like, yep, I think Elon's been hacked. But then we saw everyone else started tweeting the same stuff. Bill Gates, I think, was the second one for me. And then it was the Bitcoin actual Twitter handle, the Cash App actual Twitter handle, Jeff Bezos,
Apple
Barack
got hacked
Obama.
too, right?
Apple, their first ever tweet. They've never tweeted before. And this is finally, they tweeted out their first tweet, and now like they took it down obviously, but when you scroll through Apple's Twitter account, it will forever say one tweet made.
Oh.
So even though they've deleted it, it still says on the record that they have made one tweet.
I bet you.
And it used to be
Apple's
0.
talking with Twitter on deleting that on the
Yeah.
mod side.
I was wondering, I wanted to pick your brain about it. Do you think Apple would consider removing their social media presence on Twitter because of a hack like this? I mean, that really impacts their brand and
totally.
imagery.
Well,
I know Apple cares a lot about that. So,
well, what was the purpose? Have we figured out the purpose of this hack yet? But like, okay, they got $100,000
to make a bunch of money.
Well, they got $100,000 worth of worthless Bitcoin because it's all like publicly tracked, right? It's on a public blockchain. So it's
I think
not
that's the
exactly
point
like
of,
they can anonymously take the hashes out of the chain.
I think that the trick with Bitcoin, and I'm no expert in this field, so I apologize if I'm incorrect, but I believe that it's supposed to be non-traceable as to where it ends up. So yeah, they can all go to one address, but then whoever owns that address can send it to whoever they want, and they can cash it out however they want. But I've also seen several articles saying that this amount of crypto from one person is going to be very hard to kind of sneak out into cash. It might become very obvious if people try to start converting it, but they definitely, I don't know how much time they spent into this hack, but they got their money's worth. I mean,
it's only
I'm surprised that
$150,000, right? Like
within a matter of a couple hours. I mean,
yeah, but think of
for finding a Twitter exploit.
This isn't just like they found Elon's password and they found Apple's password. Like this is a system level, like Twitter system. Like I thoroughly believe
they exploited
they could have made
the
anyone
backdoor of Twitter.
Yeah, they could have made anyone tweet whatever they wanted. And so,
easily.
My question is, why the Bitcoin though? Okay, sure, $100,000. But if they were out to make money, it would have made a lot more sense for them to tweet from Elon's account or something like it. So put it like a short on Tesla stock before, and then tweet from Elon's account saying, "This is Elon's family. We regret to inform you that Elon has passed away in a tragic SpaceX test accident." And then have like Obama and Biden and like all of the other verified people that they were already going to have tweet their condolences out. Can you imagine how fast Tesla stock would just tank? And if they had a significant short, like, okay, that's one way they could have made way more than $100,000, right?
Maybe, But I don't think shorting the stock would have been as anonymous. It would have been much easier
I
to
don't
track.
think the blockchain is super anonymous because if the people who sent those blockchains still have the hash records, I think it's pretty traceable as long as you have that hash record. It's not like there's a name attached to it, but once you attach the hash from the outgoing person, and of course those people are going to report it because they got scammed. I think it's fairly traceable because it's all on a public, like you can. I don't know how to, but I know people can look at it.
I'm very well versed when it comes to crypto, so I don't know exactly what goes on behind the scenes, but I do know that if there was a massive short on Tesla stock, then it would be pretty obvious. The SEC would be able to track that down. But I don't know exactly. I mean, honestly, I think that scamming people out of their crypto, for one, I'm very shocked how many people actually believed that.
I know, right?
How many people were like, "Oh, Barack Obama is doing a crypto giveaway." Like,
it's not like people don't see the top comment on every post of Elon's that says, "I'm feeling generous. Here's crypto," or whatever.
Right. Well, what I've discovered on Twitter and also Reddit, because I've started dabbling into Reddit more recently, is that people on the internet really don't make it obvious when they're being sarcastic. And they will come across as very, very passionate or aggressive about a subject, even though they're just joking. And that, because of how Twitter is built, always gets to the top. So you'll see someone be like, "Where's my crypto, Elon?" And it looks totally legit. It's like a verified account, and everyone's like, "Oops, someone's mad." And then in one of the replies, they're like, "Well, if you were dumb enough to believe that, you deserve to get scammed." And then his response is, "I was just kidding. I'm joking." It's like, well, we don't know that. How are we supposed to know that? There's all kinds of sarcasm that goes around that you're not able to tell the difference with. But I mean, I think it honestly could have been much worse. I think that
it already
could have caused. It has been worse?
2013, the Associated Press's Twitter account was hacked. And they sent out a tweet in 2013. It was some malicious hacker, but they were like, 2 explosions at the White House, President Obama in critical condition. And like that sent the NASDAQ just nosediving for like 3 minutes. And as soon as people, obviously the AP deleted the tweet after they figured out what was going on and changed their password and everything. But like that wiped off, I think it was like 120 something billion dollars off of the market just from that tweet. And so like that's one tweet from the AP. Like the people who just did this attack could have sent any number of tweets from literally anyone. And that's just scary. I was thinking, right there.
Yeah, one person tweeted like, "Imagine if they got the president to tweet that nukes were going out towards China or something."
Oh my gosh.
Like imagine how that could impact the world if you'd heard that that there was some nuclear warfare going on. Not necessarily that the other country would retaliate right away, but just the mass panic it could cause, rioting or people looting and just people overreacting, thinking the World War III was about to begin.
Well, that was already trending. We're on to World War IV now.
World War IV would begin, yeah.
But, okay, one tweet is scary, like having Trump or whoever tweet like, "Okay, we're starting nuclear war with whoever." Like, that's scary. But the really scary part is like they can have whoever else they want verify that, right? Like they can have reputable journalists, other Elon Musk, whoever, retweet that and be like, "Oh my goodness, get to a bomb shelter," or something like that.
Yeah, right.
And like that's so much more scary than one bad tweet. Like one bad tweet, that can do damage as the AP did. And I think if they did have, a politician do that, that would be even worse.
Right.
But not only can they do that really bad thing, they can do like so much more. And
I know.
So I'm really thankful honestly, I'm not on Twitter and I'm not verified. So hey,
honestly, scamming people out of crypto is probably one of the better scenarios of a system-wide Twitter hack where someone can access anyone's account. Like the fact that they were all tweeting the same thing made it a lot easier to believe, okay, this isn't a real thing, because none of these people would. Whereas if you actually had that power, you could really abuse it fast. Like you said, if they were tweeting different things and verifying what either the president or someone else was tweeting, and say different things per each account, it could totally it would have taken a lot longer to realize it wasn't real, I think.
Exactly.
And it says a lot about how much power social media has. And I'm very, very shocked that Twitter, as big as a company as they are and how long they've been around, still has these types of exploits. You can still find your way into the back door somehow. Like, it's scary. It's
Absolutely.
weird to think they still have that.
And just like how much social power these platforms have. Like,
oh yeah.
Again, this might be a little political, but whatever. Trump, will tweet, his policy stuff, whatever, all caps, insert the policy that he's tweeting about. And that makes it to the public before his, press briefings or whatever.
Right.
And not going to say interacting with people on a more or less, there's not a second party between the first and third parties like there is in news media.
Mm-hmm.
Interacting with Elon Musk on Twitter is much more fun than interacting with the Tesla brand over email, right? Like,
probably, yeah.
It's a little bit more exciting. So I'm not going to say that's bad, but it's just like kind of scary that, this can all happen in a blink of an eye. And like, yeah, you're right. We totally got off easy. This could have been the apocalypse. Like, and
for sure.
This is just a huge warning sign shot across the bow. Like, hey guys, we need to figure out something else that's, not.
They gotta crack down on encryption,
Or like not have backdoors in the first place. It's almost like Tim Apple was telling us that was important back in 2016, but no.
Right. It was kind of weird hearing Twitter talk about it, how they said they kind of found like an employee's account and accessed it through that. And a lot of people are like, why are there tools that allow employees to tweet from any account? Why is that even, when would we use that? When would that feature be needed that an employee needed to tweet from some random person's account, especially a high up verified one with millions and millions of followers? Like Mr. Beast, when he tweeted out the crypto scandal, I was like, oh man, people are going to believe that too. Yeah. Because that's actually something he would do.
He would do that.
He would totally do that. So now everyone's like, oh shoot. No, don't believe it. Don't believe it. But it makes me very, very hard to trust crypto stuff because I've dabbled in it a little bit in the past, but not really that in depth. And pretty much any time I hear about crypto, it's some kind of scam going on now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's some good things and benefits to crypto, but now it feels like anytime I'm reading about it, it's because someone scammed a bunch of people. That's what it's being used for the majority of the time. Like OneCoin, I think it was. There's some lady who started up this new crypto thing and ran off with billions of dollars and disappeared and that kind of thing.
Well, hey, I'm starting up Nickcoin.
Nickcoin.
It'll be launching at $1 per coin. It's only a limited of 10 million coins, so get them fast. And, super secure. It's not going to have any of the problems that any of the other Bitcoins have ever had.
Right. And we're also launching Tailosive Coin right after this podcast.
Exactly. And we'll use the verified Nick Twitter to promote the Tailosive Coin.
Right. We'll be doing a Tailosive Coin giveaway right after this. Anyone can make their own crypto now. It's 2020. Yeah, exactly. Why not?
No, I know.
Everyone gets their own crypto.
We're not going to make it to the end of the year, so, who cares?
Yeah. Let's just enjoy it while we got it. Oh, man. No, it's a big mess. That was a big mess.
Was that the biggest mess on Twitter?
Yeah. Okay. I think that was the biggest one. They shut off verified accounts from tweeting for a while, which was kind of interesting.
To minimize... Okay.
I guess minimize the scandal going around. So they took the blockchain address that had been tweeted everywhere and said, okay, any tweet that has that is instantly taken down. And then the only people who could tweet for a few hours were unverified accounts. So I was like,
woo! Take that, John!
Unverified Twitter party. Now I realize that's a milestone, and I don't know who it is. Who has the most followers that isn't verified? I don't know.
I bet you that changes pretty frequently as people become verified. Huh.
Yeah, very randomly. But I was suddenly very happy I wasn't verified. I was like, cool, I can still tweet. I feel very disappointed I wasn't hacked.
And I was sitting over here not knowing what was going on because I wasn't on Twitter and I found out about it the day after.
I was just thinking, Nick is missing so much right now. All of these tweets. But yeah, it was funny to see Elon reply to his deleted tweet, "Just stop." That was his latest tweet.
Has he tweeted since? Or like,
yeah.
Now that people can tweet, like, is it changed the social dynamic of Twitter where, like, big celebrities are like, it's actually me, by the way, here's a screenshot of my, home screen or something?
I haven't seen anyone doing that. All I've really seen is Elon saying, I only invest in Dogecoin and, memes and that kind of thing, and tweeting that people who design algorithms are make them inherently pessimistic or negative towards things. Back to regular Elon meme tweeting and stuff.
I didn't.
So I think he still should have.
I'm sure there were pictures associated with those that were memes. So
sure, yeah. I'm still in the department that I think once they got their accounts back, they should have said, "Okay, guys, I'm back. It's me. I'm not hacked." That's what I did when I saw the tweets going around. I immediately tweeted,
how do we know they are hacked right now?
It's kind of hard to tell. With Elon, you never really know. There have been times in the past where I thought Elon was hacked and he wasn't.
I'm selling everything!
Yeah, I'm selling all my possessions. Right.
Bro, you okay?
Yeah, is Elon okay? But I tweeted out immediately, like, by the way, I will never ask for Bitcoin ever. If I ever tweet that out, I've been hacked. I cannot think of a single example in my life that I will tweet out some type of crypto giveaway of some kind. I'm never going to do that. So don't believe me if I do.
That's pretty
Just
smart.
Set the record straight.
Like, why isn't that like the general way the society thinks about Twitter, right? Like,
right.
Okay, sure, there's that Bill, what's his face guy who was always giving out money on Twitter, if you retweet or whatever. But
occasionally,
yeah. But even then, they're not huge amounts. He's
Mm-hmm.
he has lots of money, but you can only make him go so far. But I kind of find it interesting that like people would even think that's real. Like, I don't care if you're like a 60-year-old grandma who doesn't know how Twitter works. Like, A, why are you using cryptocurrencies? But B, like, at what point did like people think everyone was like Mr. Beast or everyone was like that Bill guy? Like, no one's like that. That's not how the world works. You don't get stuff for free. You have to work for what you get, and you have to earn it.
No.
That's how...
If there is a giveaway, it's like I'm selecting one person or...
Exactly, right? Yeah. And
that's about it.
And even then, sometimes people don't get what they were promised. But,
No. And especially that type of giveaway where it's not like retweet and you could be selected, but it's... Send me the money first, and I'll send it back to you. Like,
that's just a scam written all over it.
It would only take like a couple minutes to think, wait a minute, they have millions of followers, and you think somehow, because I don't think, from what I know, there's no Bitcoin wallet feature that just says instantly double what someone just sent me. So if hundreds of thousands of people were sending you money, do you think they would go in and manually double it and send it back? Like, that's not even physically possible. Even if someone was doing that type of giveaway, like, it wouldn't be practical. It would take forever. It would literally take months to be like, oh, okay, this person sent this much, this person sent that. It would only take like 30 seconds maybe of critical thinking to be like, this can't be real.
Exactly.
This just does not make sense.
It just doesn't. So, it doesn't fit with anything in the world, right? Like, people don't give away stuff for free. And I guess Mr. Beast did tweet it out, so there you go.
That's the only one I could see people believing, because he would do something like that. He's done crazier things in his life. But still,
like, even if you follow, like, I can't think of anyone who doesn't follow at least two of the people that were hacked, right? Like, you're following Elon, you're following at Apple, you're following, a number of these big accounts that got hacked, and if you all see them tweeting out, and then you see Mr. Beast, it's just like, even if.
Right.
No.
I also find it weird they changed Apple's profile picture to an Apple logo just slightly off-centered. And I was like,
oh, gosh. Johnny Ive is in the corner.
No. And Apple took down the tweet, but they didn't change the profile picture, which I found interesting. I was just like, of all the ways to hack a Twitter account, why the profile picture? I don't know. They just wanted to change it, I guess, to something, not something obscene or dangerous, just a slightly different, just a different, before it was like a white Apple logo on a black background, and now it's a gray Apple logo on a white background, and it's slightly off center. And I was like,
just off.
You have all this power, and this is what you're going to do with it? Okay,
exactly.
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Why?
It's interesting to think about motive there, because they didn't hack the president, and it feels like they totally could have.
Oh, totally, 100%.
So it almost makes you wonder if they were like, okay, I'm going to make a bunch of money off this, but I want to show Twitter they have an exploit, but I don't want to cause any harm or mass panic.
But
I basically
yet you
just
still want to make money off of it.
They want to scam a bunch of people for sure, but I'm guessing whoever did this, or if it's a group of people, I don't know, whatever their motive was, it was probably, if people believe this, they deserve it, kind of thing. Because I already saw a lot of people have that mentality of like, if you truly think you could double your Bitcoin by sending it to some stranger on the internet, then you shouldn't have it in the first place. It's not right. It's not good. I don't agree with that mentality. A scam is a scam, but I'm just trying to understand their motive or why someone would do this, and thankfully not cause any kind of mass panic like we talked about earlier, which easily could have been done. So, yeah.
So
weird stuff.
In summary, when I do come back to Twitter, whenever that is, I also will never, ever ask you to send me anything.
Yeah. Well, it goes for all of Talos.
Also,
no Twitter account.
I don't know anything important, so if for some reason I start tweeting about things important, it's probably not me either.
Now that everyone's been hacked, no one is safe.
Exactly. So, it's what it's that syndrome quote. Once everyone is hacked, no one. Once everyone has been compromised, no one is safe, and it's. Man.
Yeah.
We're so
and it's
screwed.
not the thing is we can't really switch to anything else. There's not another social media. So I don't know. We're back to MySpace, I guess. Here we go.
MySpace never had that problem. So there you go.
I don't think so.
Hey.
I think we should all move to MySpace.
There you go.
I think it's been settled. Oh man.
My goodness.
Well, we should probably talk at least a little bit about Apple today, since it is
we did.
The tech
we talked
podcast.
About the Apple logo not being centered on the
perfect
circle.
I guess that counts.
No.
Right.
What's
there's
the latest
weird
leaks
rumors.
And rumors?
There's weird ones floating around. Have you ever used braided cables before?
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a rumor that I don't believe in that says the iPhone 12 is going to ship with braided lightning cable
from Apple.
Which, yeah, like
nice.
an Apple-made braided cable. I don't think it's real. It's kind of a nobody account, but Nick would be on board with it. I can tell. He wants more braided cables.
I could totally get on with this. I love braided cables. These things feel so premium, and
that's just a rope.
It's basically a rope. But
that's a long one.
Yeah, it's actually a 3.5 millimeter audio jack. But this is like a real good quality braided cable, and it just feels so sturdy and premium.
Yeah,
and would this be an addition? Well, I thought they were getting rid of the cables in the box.
They're getting rid of the brick. For the record, to all those who kept saying how wrong this is and how mad they are at no charger, the leak in the report said that there would be no brick. They still said there would be a Lightning to USB-C cable included. So
then why were we all up in arms for a month?
I don't know. I think people probably watched a few other YouTubers' video about it because they just hear the title that says no charger. But I tried to make that fairly clear in my video. I was like, so there's still a cable, guys. We're just talking about the brick. So if you're using your argument of my old cables get old, or these cables need to be replaced, or what if you don't have a Lightning cable, you're still getting one. It's just the brick they're not including anymore, which I think is probably one of the more expensive parts out of everything they include. The cable, it's the same as shipping AirPods. AirPods come with a cable, but no brick. iPods came with a cable and no brick. So it's not much different from that. But if there has to be a cable and they're going to make it more durable, then okay. I mean, that people will still be mad, but maybe slightly less mad. I don't know.
Slightly less mad. People are
Maybe
going to be
that
mad
helps.
regardless on the internet.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It's iPhone. Of course it's going to make some people mad. Though, I will say...
Are people, like, talking about what color they're going to use? Because some of the fun parts of braided cables is you can have, like, multiple colors. Would it just be, like, white and white? Or, like, white and gray? Or black?
The leaked account is just a white braided cable.
Is there a picture of it floating around? Or is it...
I could text it to you.
Please do.
I don't believe it's real. Well, after looking at this picture, that looks pretty legit, but it easily could be some third party that's just trying to get attention on braided cables.
That's also pretty likely.
I've seen several third party iPhone accessory companies. I think it was Olexar who has made several cases based on iPhone leaks and then posted them on their website so people think, ooh, here's the new iPhone. But it just basically gets a bunch of eyes on their website. I remember them designing phone cases for the SE2 way back in 2018 when it was like bezel-less and notch and OLED, but it looked like an iPhone 5. So I don't know. I don't know if I believe it, but it could
These are pretty
somewhat
decent
help.
looking cables.
Yeah.
I would love this. I'm totally down for these.
It's a common complaint, I guess, people have. Maybe this year they do braided so that next year they can do no cable.
I love this. The light gray and the white, that really works. This.
Yeah.
And it has an Apple logo, so even better.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
No, it doesn't have an Apple logo, but it's an
okay.
Apple sheet
It's just
product. Yeah.
Yeah.
If this
It's
was
Apple
a
endorsed.
Samsung cable, I'd be all up in arms about it. But here we are. So this is the standard one, and it has like this little step of like extra rubber after the plastic piece of the lightning cable, and this leaf doesn't have that. And so I wonder, because the reason why they have the thicker piece of rubber there is so when you turn it, it's kind of more of a gradual turn, and it doesn't crimp the wires. So I don't know.
True.
Maybe,
I've never had the
this cable I have doesn't even have that thing. So maybe you don't need this.
I've for some reason been the one person in life who's never had these lightning cable issues. I hear people talk about how they break and tear over time, and I've not had that.
I've had this cable since 2016. This was the very first USB-C to lightning cable they ever made.
Oh, did you like order that when it came out?
I didn't order it, but I went to the Apple store the day that it was available for pickup, and I got it.
You were like, Apple's
at
never
the time
made
I
one
had
before.
at the time I had a 12-inch MacBook, and so it was like I needed it.
Okay. See, I like that they're now making USB-C to Apple Watch charge pucks because they actually waited a long time before they started making those. I was like, thank you, finally.
Yeah, I charge my Apple Watch on the go all of the time.
Yeah. Even if it was still a 5-watt brick, I just wanted things to move towards USB-C because it's just easier to plug into, and that's what all of our devices are moving on to anyway. So I was just, come on, let's move on. Let's get on with killing off USB-A as much as possible. But braided cable would be nice. I'm not mad about it. I don't think I'd use it. I think it would stay in the box, or I'm trying to think of a cable I could replace. I really can't. I can't think of another one, so I don't know. But I think there's a Thunderbolt 3 cable that's included with the Pro Display XDR that's braided.
Really? Ooh.
I think I heard about that, or the power cable or something. It's some kind of like custom cable that comes with. I'm gonna double check the website, see if it brings that up. What's included with the box? It was something. I remember people unboxing it and saying that the cables were a little different.
They're black. Ooh, those look nice.
Oh, okay. It doesn't say on the in the box site.
They both look like they're rubber. And this is from the Apple event where they were announced at Dub whatever year.
Oh, okay.
So perhaps
Thunderbolt
these
3.
are not shipping versions.
Man, I hate this monitor.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Drew. You have to look at this monitor.
I still have not seen it.
But you don't own it. Oh no, you're totally right. This is braided. Oh wow.
Which one?
It's black. Let me copy the link and send this to you here. And I have to remember
I
to
see.
add these
I think
pictures
it's on
into it.
Apple's website. Whoa. $160?
I know. What the frick?
Oh, dang.
That thing's
Oh,
expensive.
When Mac Rumors reported it was $130.
It's an actual Thunderbolt 3 cable. So I actually have and this is 2 meter. That's why it's so expensive. This cable was $70, and this is a Thunderbolt 3, and it's only 2.9 meters, so it's not even a full 3-foot cable. But this cable is like chonk, and the connectors here are like this cable is chonk.
So that's why it doesn't break.
Exactly. Here's your standard lightning cable. I don't know if anyone can see this in the video, but it's like at least 4 times thicker than your standard lightning
I can tell on this pixelated FaceTime call.
It is like chonk. And the connectors are like beefy connectors. Like, here's the standard USB-C connector, and here's this Thunderbolt connector. It is like twice the girth. It is so chonkish. But I love it because it's an actual Thunderbolt 3 cable. Like the charger that comes with the MacBook Pros is only a USB 3 3.2 cable. And so it doesn't...
So it's basically good for charging but not data?
It does data, and you can use it with docks and stuff, but it's not
as
Thunderbolt
fast.
3 spec. And
right.
And so the reason why I got this is because I have a Thunderbolt 3 dock. And it's not like I'm pushing a lot of pixels at 4K or anything, but it's
No.
It's just like I wanted to have the cable that goes with a thingy. And I like the fact it's not long, because honestly I have my stuff mounted where it is, and it's kind of nice not to have just a bunch of cable flying all over the place, but
true,
you got to have options. And so
this
thing was like $70,
shorter
so
cables.
Having $160
longer
one makes a lot of sense.
The actual brick part of the cable that houses the USB-C is very big on that one $30 cable.
Yeah,
man, that's a lot for a wire. My goodness,
it is.
That's kind of killer.
So bad.
Maybe that's how Apple will with braided cables. They'll be like, so these are supposed to last longer, so you don't need a new cable with every new iPhone.
And
that's
next
how they're gonna.
Year they'll have no cables at all, and it'll just be our optimal design of just a phone without the Saran wrap the Genius just hands you, or special.
That rumor's still floating around. Do you think Apple's going to release a portless iPhone next year, or do you think it's too soon?
I'm not the best person to ask about that, because I've been wanting a portless iPhone since the iPhone 10, and so
I know.
It's
I'd be fine with it, but I just mean from a business perspective, do you think they would do that in 2021?
I would hope so. But from a business perspective, I'm going to say yes. Why not? Because Randy's not here. He's not going to hold me accountable to this in 20 whatever, whenever this doesn't happen. But yes, Nick Answeeney right now says that Apple will remove the charger next year, not this year, but next year. Because the port, yeah. And they might have a little smart connector thing for diagnostic in the SIM tray or something. I don't know. But
do you think it'll be all the phones, or just one of them, or just the Pro ones, or...
Sure, all of them. I don't know.
All of them. Okay.
Well, they got rid of so my logic for this is the iPhone 7 getting rid of the headphone jack, and it was kind of like it was expected, but yet it was still kind of unexpected at the same time. We heard for 2 years Apple's going to get rid of the headphone jack.
I made a video about it 8 months before they launched it, and we were already arguing about it, and then all the arguments came back when it launched.
Exactly. That's exactly how it's going to happen. We've been kind of expecting this portless iPhone for a while now, and we've already had arguments about it, but as soon as they actually do it, it's going to be all over again. And I think just the way that we were I was kind of unexpected. I was taken aback a little when they did remove the headphone jack, because I was still kind of thinking these are leaks and rumors. They're gonna have maybe just on the Pro version, or not the Pro at the time, the Plus version.
The Plus,
or maybe the Plus will have it, or they'll ease us into this. But no, Apple was just boom, every iPhone from now forward is never gonna have this port, and that was the case.
It was real. Reality set in.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did this next year.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think that they're the only company that actually talked about removing it on stage.
True.
No other company wants to talk about it. Every other company's like, it's gone. Anyway,
the Google Pixel has a headphone jack. Yay, we're great next year. So it has USB-C, and it comes with a USB-C to 3.1 millimeter headphone jack adapter, and it's going to cost this much, and it has 2 cameras now.
So I would say Apple at least tried harder than everyone. When they removed it, they actually made a case for it, whereas no one else tried. They just like, whatever. So I imagine something similar with removing the charge port, that Apple would bring it up, and I'd like to see how they argue the point of it. With the headphone jack, they could argue it's old, it's a single-use port, and Lightning works fine. With this, though, I don't know. I don't. They can't really argue that the Lightning port is that old because it's still pretty new.
Oh, they're going to argue that it's old. They're going to argue that it's old.
But they're using it on so many devices still. Like, if they say Lightning is old, then we have it on our keyboards, our mice, our AirPods, our TV remotes. Like, that's a big move to shift away from. So
agreed. But this is how they're going to pitch it. Just like with the headphone jack, Phil Schiller got up there. And he was like, the headphone jack is based on technology that's 100 years old. We're going to have, Craig or someone get up there on the virtual stage and be like, okay, so the charger is literally 700 years old. And they're going to show some, like, Aztec, cable with a battery ever. Right?
Yeah.
So the cable
so
is really old. 700 years old, and today we're finally moving forward past the cable. We're so brave. We have so much courage.
I just feel like wireless charging hasn't made the same leaps that wireless headphones have made. Like, when they removed the jack, they had AirPods, and it's like, cool, you can now put in headphones and basically listen to music the same way, just without the wires. But you don't have that same argument with removing the port, because you have to keep the phone attached to the Qi charger, and it's very hard to use the phone while it's charging. And I get all those examples and arguments as to why people don't like it, but personally I don't care, because I barely plug in my phone to anything ever anymore. I do everything wirelessly. So I would still buy it, and I'd be fine with it if they removed it. But I think from a business standpoint, it would prevent a lot of people from upgrading, because we're already in a time where iPhones are so hard to justify year after year after year. And if the only changes between this year and next year is just like, there's no port now and the CPU is a little faster, I imagine most people that next year will be one of the smallest iPhone upgrades, I think, in a long time. This year seems pretty big, but next year I'm trying to imagine what they can do that's massive. And I got nothing. I got nothing. I can't think of much. So,
well, first off, it's a good thing that we're not the ones having to come up with new iPhone ideas, or they would be pretty boring.
Oh, thank God. I love my job. I would hate to be in Apple's position right now.
But
like,
Drew,
what do we do?
Wouldn't you want to work for Apple and make the next iPhone?
If there was a job that was basically Steve Jobs' position of like, it should do this. It should work like this. That's pretty much all I could do for Apple, is tell them how I think things should work. I couldn't help them with marketing, design, engineering, software. I couldn't help them with anything other than just, as a consumer,
like, okay, guys,
I think it should do this.
So this phone here has so much space. When I drop it into a cup of water, you see little bubbles come out of it, and that's how you know that there's too much stuff going on. And the cup's not even big enough for the demonstration. And now I got water all over my wood desk. So
you gotta buy an iPhone SE for this demonstration.
Just dunk it in. Get a bigger cup, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't know what they can do.
I don't know either. Hey, that cleaned up the stainless steel pretty nice. I should give my phone a bath more often.
I need a water glass. I'll just drop my phone in there, like an Oreo in milk. Yeah, I think I'm going to go out on a limb and just go ahead and disagree with you. Maybe Randy, because he'd probably agree with you here.
What? No, Randy and I never agree on anything. This is a beautiful phone.
I think it is beautiful.
Wipe the fingerprints off it more often.
I've actually gotten some scuffs on mine that won't come off, and I've tried to wash it.
You know
I've
what the answer
taken
for
it
that
in water.
is? Nick's secret. The
the
steel and
polishing
silver polishing cloths.
We need to do that next time we meet up.
I will toss these in my pile that I got going on for things to bring to Drew.
All the lights in Nick's room fall over. All the glass
explosions.
I will disagree, though. I think we will still have a lightning port next year. I don't think they're going to do it. I think that's one of those prototypes we're hearing about, but they're actually not going to roll it out next year because they're going to realize that they don't have enough exciting stuff to roll out. So,
well,
holy crap. I just realized looking at that $130 cable, it says it supports charging up to 100 watts.
Yeah, that's what this guy does.
What?
Yeah.
What device are you charging?
Actually, my MacBook, the MacBook Pro you sold me, actually charges up to 100 watts with the dock that I have.
Is it 100?
Yeah. So the dock.
How do you know it's not?
Well, it charges quicker than on the 61 watt. Okay, I don't know if it's 100 watts, but it charges much quicker than the 61 watt. The 13-inch MacBook Pro is 95 or 97, right? The 16-inch.
So they will support higher charge speeds than the included charger? Because I always thought that was the maxed out. Because the 15-inch one came with like 87 watts, and now the 16-inch comes with 96. So you're saying they charge faster than that? I did not know this.
This charges faster than the 61 watt brick that I have. When I plug it into, because my dock supports 100 watts out on Thunderbolt cable, which is part of the reason why I got this. It's not like I ever leave my desk and need to charge up quickly, but
that's a lot. Mm-hmm. My goodness.
All of the power.
Oh, is this like the kind of cable you would need to, when you charge the MacBook, but also output video simultaneously?
The included one would do that as well.
Okay.
But this is it's the difference between USB-C or USB 3.1 Gen 2 and full Thunderbolt 3, which I believe is 20 megabits a second and 40 megabits a second. So if you're driving,
you mean gigabits a second.
I'm sorry. Yeah, what did I say? Megabits? Yeah, no, whatever. Some bits
That'd be
and
really
flops
slow.
and teraflops and the floopity loopity and the quadra something or other.
Man, USB-C is trying to make things simple, but at times it does seem more complicated.
I'm glad that we have a unified connector and everything's backwards compatible with everything, but you're right. At the same time, why does this cable not do the same thing as that cable? Well, the reason is because this cable was $70 and that cable's $30.
It takes a certain amount of time to get the connectors all on the same page, but the standards and the speeds and their power versus data and that kind of thing, that all takes a little bit longer because obviously when you're making a cable that's supposed to replace all cables, there's a lot of middle grounds, like you don't put Thunderbolt 3 style ports on, your $300 Pocophone because all it's doing is power and occasional data, but not that much. So you don't need the 40 gigabit per second USB-C port in that phone, so it gets messy, but at least the connectors are the same. In the future, hopefully we can just have cable and port, and there's no names. Everything just plugs in easily. But we'll probably figure out wireless data and wireless video. Maybe not power, but after
wireless
a certain amount of
power
time.
is the holy grail. Like once we get wireless power, that doesn't kill us. Like I know we can. Microwave.
Yeah, we have wireless power that kills us.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. Stick your hand in a microwave, see how that feels.
Yeah, you can charge up stuff over the air, but yeah.
Just get brain cancer next week. That's all.
You want to charge your phone? Knock some years off your life.
Want to
charge your phone? You just got to decide if it's worth it.
Decide whether or not you want your kids to have 4 limbs.
You just have to decide. Some people might choose one over the other. We'll see. I wanted to bring this up. A lot of people may not see it as fit, but it is technology. Tesla lowered the price of their solar panels again. So
wrong podcast.
It's not vehicles.
This belongs on EV.
This has nothing to do with the cars.
What else do we have to talk about on EV? We got to save that.
Oh, I've got a bunch of stuff for EV.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry.
Well, fine.
Stay tuned for that.
Oh, okay. Well, then.
This is solar, which is technology.
Okay. So what did they change? What was the price change? I'm not
So
ready
it
for
was
this Tesla
actually-
show. I need to switch to the Tesla website, not the Apple website.
It's only a price decrease for the smallest system, the 4 kilowatt solar
Okay.
system. The rest got a little bit of a price increase, which I thought was
Is
a little
that
interesting.
solar
but
and battery pack or Powerwall or?
they didn't change the price of the Powerwall, but they did change the referral program, which has me very tempted as a creator and a influencer who could probably refer a few people. Now, if you get the 4 kilowatt system, which is best for like smaller houses and people who don't have insane amounts of power, $8,200.
$8,200 for both?
No, just for the panels.
Just for the
before
panels?
the
Okay.
federal tax credit. So
What's the federal
right
tax
now,
rate?
the
4,000?
it's a percentage of what the solar system cost.
Okay.
So it's no matter how much your solar panels cost, you get a tax credit of like I think 27% this year, and it'll be 22% next year or something like that. But after the tax credit, basically you can buy outright a 4 kilowatt solar panel system for $6,000,
Dang.
and you own it. That's not a once a year type thing, and that's the
That-
lowest I've ever seen solar panels. Because my parents bought them
Totally.
when I was in the 5th grade, 6th grade,
Yeah.
and they were tens of thousands of dollars. And they used to be. It was impossible to find any solar panel system you could get for under 10. And now the fact that it's with the tax credit pushing down near 6 is insanity.
So
That's getting pretty competitive.
So I'm thankful you brought this up because I had a little bit of an experience today. I work from home, and I was on a call with a client, and the power went out, and it was because a tree fell on the line, and we were only out for 3 or 4 hours, so it wasn't the end of the world.
Oh, okay.
But I had to switch to backup pretty quickly, and I literally said like everything went dead. Right, lights. Thankfully, my studio lights have a battery backup in them, so those were still on. But like the internet went out, and I was like, "Oh, power went out." And like as I was turning to go to my backup devices, I said, "Let's switch to backup here."
Let's go to backup.
I whipped out my iPad and my phone, pulled up the Zoom call, and continued taking stuff on my iPad. But that's all because it was battery powered and on LTE. So
Yeah.
I like had a completely redundant system. But this got me thinking.
Right.
You know, as I'm working from home more, you know, I'll need, and my other family members also work from home, and so like he was in a call with like vice presidents and stuff when it blinked out, and so anyway, he had a bit of battery backup on his laptop and stuff, so it wasn't terrible. But we're talking about getting a solar system, and not a whole house solar system, but just to run essentials like some water stuff and a few power outlets for computers and the fridge and stuff. And we're actually looking at the lowest Tesla solar installation here with the Powerwall.
They're the cheapest in the world.
Exactly. And so we're like $16,000 for also the installation. That's pretty good. And so we haven't made any decisions or anything, but it was just like this was one pretty high profile instance where we were both needing the power and it went out. And,
it's going to become more and more important as people are working from home more. And
exactly.
The interesting thing about the referral program that if I got solar I would consider is the fact that if you can refer 10 people with your referral code, you get a free Powerwall.
Okay, how do we do this?
Yeah.
Okay,
So if
I
you're
need
a
20 of
YouTuber-
you, 20
Yeah.
people out there, to go spend $16,000 on solar stuff.
Just get the cheapest
Just
one.
get the cheapest one. Okay, just go out there, spend $8,200 on solar
Yeah.
stuff. 20 of you. We're going to do a call-a-thon or telethon or something where you get the little thermometer and we'll be like, okay.
And I think it counts even if you do the subscription of the solar panels. If you sign up just to subscribe.
Then cancel it a week.
Excuse me.
Corona
I was
boy.
thinking it might actually be cheaper to have 10 people subscribe to Tesla Solar in California because it's only $65 a month. Have 10 people use the referral code, sign up, install the systems, get the free Powerwall, and then they can all uninstall their systems, and then you just reimburse them for the months they paid for. That might be cheaper than buying the Powerwall outright.
That is such a scam. Don't do that, folks. Tesla's going to come knocking on your door and asking for your Powerwall back once they realize what you did.
Well, everyone you referred suddenly canceled at the same time. So it's like, it's mine. I got it. What are you going to do?
Well,
Yank
seeing
it from
how
the
they
wall?
don't allow Teslas that have been, what is it? Totaled or whatever to charge on the supercharger network. I'm sure they could flip off the Powerwall and it just would stop working.
Well, solar's getting cheap, folks. So if you're on the fence about it,
I didn't realize that it had a price decrease, like again after the most recent price decrease.
Yeah, they keep going down. So especially that 4 kilowatt system. That's the one I was eyeing because we don't have a big house and we don't use a ton of power. So if we install that now, we would be producing way more than we use. So, and the thing is, our power bill isn't that much, which is why it doesn't really make sense to do it now. But
in
who knows?
California, you guys can rent them, right?
Yes.
Or get them on like a monthly?
Yeah, Tesla has a subscription option for the 4 kilowatt system that's $65 a month.
Okay.
Which is...
is that more than your power bill, though? Because it would have to be less than your power bill.
Right now, it would be, yeah.
Yeah.
In the future, more power could be used, so that's why it's...
Oh, future vehicle purchases. I see.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, I didn't want to do that on the vehicle podcast. That's why I brought it up on tech. So
okay.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
I'm glad it's
the idea
cheaper.
of solar. Like the energy's there. You just gotta
even if it's not more cost effective. I love the idea that all that sun that keeps hitting our roofs all day is doing nothing, and all that energy is just being wasted on heat. And it's heating something we don't care about.
And then you have to waste energy on your AC to remove that heat.
Yeah. Right. It just makes so much more sense to me that, like, you're producing. And also, what's nice about solar is that, like, it's so efficient because if you're not at home or if you're not using that power, it goes back into the grid. And you're actually powering your neighbors' houses and offsets the power that the
power
grid
company
has
pays
to produce.
you, right?
It can. Depends on the power company. Not all of them will. Most of the time, though, with solar packages, they will essentially add the energy that you're overproducing back into the grid, and then that acts as a credit. So obviously,
that makes
if
sense.
you don't have a battery, if you don't have a power wall, then you're not producing any energy at nighttime, but you're using energy. So your meter is counting that, okay, he's pulling power from the grid, but because earlier you were putting more in, it ends up balancing out. And that's how people are able to basically eliminate the power bill almost. In some states,
I see the next
don't know if they do it
stuff
here.
on video. I got power for $0 a month.
How I make money from the sun.
How I make money while I sleep.
I think power companies started realizing it wasn't sustainable to send a check to anyone who got solar because solar's getting cheaper and it wouldn't make sense for the power company to just keep paying everybody for providing solar. So I think in a lot of states they've quit doing that, but there are still a few where they will send you a check. But I don't expect that to last because eventually if everyone starts having solar, how does the power company make money? Where are they getting that from?
Yeah.
Everyone's just producing their own power. So
I think that's what
that
Elon's
won't
looking
work.
for with the... Is this the EV podcast? I don't know. This doesn't feel like the tech podcast, Drew.
Okay, we'll save it. We'll save it.
I'm sorry.
We'll pick another topic then. Have your AirPods been working okay? Because mine are bugging out on me.
Pro or regular?
Either.
Well, so I'm on iOS 14, and
True.
The issue that there are two issues. The first issue is moving between devices. And moving between devices that are not on beta and that are on betas. That seems to be a big problem because my iPhone and one of my iPads is on beta, and the other iPhone and the other iPad are not on betas. And so I have my Pros connected to the not beta devices, and the regulars are connected to the beta devices. So there's just like a lot of, I have to put them back in the case and put the little white button to make them like recognize it. And, actually I haven't even updated. Is there another beta? I think I saw that on YouTube. Sam
Yeah,
was
I
posting.
think there is. I think I got it.
I should probably do that. I don't know if there's anything
I
exciting.
don't think I'm having a beta problem, but I haven't actually had the device switching thing. That's worked pretty well for me. I just go to AirPlay and click connect, and they connect.
Like between
but
iOS,
my iPad and my Mac and my phone. I haven't needed to press the white button in forever.
That's nice.
It just they switch between. So that's working fine for me. But now on both AirPods Pro and my regular AirPods, I will have one that doesn't charge unless I
had that
pull it
issue
out and put it back in.
Okay. Yeah. Fascinating.
Did you have that problem too?
I did with this very pair of Airpods.
Did you fix it?
I drop it every time I pick up these AirPods. I drop them, and
See,
it's
that's
not
why I'm
because
not
I hate
shocked.
them.
I don't drop mine.
No.
That's not true. I did drop when I was in Washington. I dropped one of my AirPods Pro, fell out of my ear and landed in the snow. And I picked it up and put it back in, and it worked fine. But I'm wondering if that impacted the charging connector on it, because it still works. I just have to like take them out of the case and adjust them several times and kind of push hard on them, or else I'll open the case and one's dead and the other's at 100. And so I'm sure the cycles are all
that
out
used
of
to
whack
happen
now.
with these, and this is actually part of the reason why I got the AirPods Pro the second time, because the OG ones were kind of wigging out on me, and I was talking with I think it was like the very beginning of the Corona thing. So like Apple stores weren't open, so I couldn't go to replace them. And so I was talking with one of the chat people on the Apple Store's website, and they were like, okay, you just, reset it in the settings, unpair it, repair it, hold the button for 10 seconds. And like none of that was working. And finally she was just like, well, you can send them in for service, but we're kind of backlogged due to the coronavirus, so it's going to take like 4 weeks or something. And I'm just like, I'll go order a new pair. My gosh. But I literally didn't use these for like a month and a half, but then they just started working. And so I don't know
It's weird.
what happened. Like they're both charged.
It's definitely some
now.
type of design flaw.
Exactly. I don't know
But
what's going on with them.
It seems to be somewhat, easy to fix yourself just by hitting them a certain way. You're dislodging something, so you just got to lodge it back in there. Yeah, swing them at the floor. For the most part, if there's something wrong, I can just open them and push them a different way, and then they start charging. And luckily, AirPods charge pretty quickly.
And this is your Pros too?
Both on the Pro, it's the right one, and on the regular AirPods, it's the left one. More so, the Pros have had more issues than these. These have been mostly fine. It's probably just once a week that they have that issue, whereas the AirPods Pro, it's like 4 or 5 times a week they have that problem.
Wow.
So I'm thinking about contacting them and having them send out a replacement or something, but I just got it to start working again this morning. So now I'm like, maybe I just need to hit that case a few more times and see if I make sure it's not something just needs to be lodged back in place. But it is a flaw. Apple's not perfect, so I'm bringing it up.
Are
People
very
tell me,
perfect. Come on, guys.
you never talk about Apple's flaws. You never bring up issues. It's because no one wants to watch me talk about Apple's flaws. Although I will say, any iPhone 12 video about something bad happening does very well.
Oh, yes.
And I notice it, and I plan on capitalizing on that completely.
How so?
Well, the no charger thing had been floating around the internet for a while. No one had really made that many videos on it, but I was like, this is going to tick off people. So I'll talk about it, and I'll talk about why I think it's not the end of the world, but it's something I get why people are upset about. So I just titled it, bad news for the iPhone 12, no charger. And that video is like, boom, takes off. Everybody wants to watch that. And then if you do something like, iPhone 12 is really small and people are going to enjoy that it's shrinking and being more compact again, then people are like, here's some good news. I don't care. Hey guys, got some bad news for the 12. What is it? Oh God, it's going to suck. It just negativity sells. It's true.
That's the
really
internet
does.
For you, Drew. That the last tech podcast that we posted, the Max
unpopular,
that did pretty well. Like honestly, very very well. One of the top one of the top 3 videos we've ever done. So we should title this video. What should we title it?
AirPods
the end of
major.
AirPod.
AirPods Chargegate. I don't know.
Chargegate with a picture of AirPods.
Yeah, it gets somewhat clickbaity pretty fast. But
just arrows and circles and
Did this really happen?
Major flaw that can be fixed by touching it lightly.
Fixed by this weird fix.
This weird fix solves all of life's problems.
Hold your
Better than
breath
placebo.
indefinitely.
Right.
Oh my.
Do you think, man, we're past halfway through July. It's possible
I missed
we
2020.
could have an Apple
it's
event.
almost over.
I know. We could have an Apple event in less than 2 months, Nick.
No, it's not happening. It's not happening.
No?
No.
It's not happening in 2 months? When is it going to happen?
I haven't been up to snuff on the leaks, but last I checked, the iPhone 12 was significantly delayed due to coronavirus and now the trade war and / Cold War that's going on. But we got
So is the iPhone 10, but the event was in September.
Exactly. Well, okay. I think
I'd still
Apple
count on a September event.
I think it's coming out in mid-October regardless of what happens in the world at this point.
I'm sure it'll come out later on, but I
But-
still think the event would be September.
I think it would be prudent of them, just like they waited 2 or 3 weeks for Dub Dub. They pushed Dub Dub 2 or 3 weeks back. I wouldn't be surprised if they pushed the iPhone event 2 or 3 weeks back.
I wouldn't either, but it's still September. Because normally it's like the first
Okay,
or second
September
Tuesday of the month.
30th or whatever. Like that's barely.
Yeah, that's in
September.
like 2 months.
Okay, fine.
It's coming up.
You're right.
It's
Drew.
happening.
You're so right. You're always right. You're the YouTuber here who knows all of the leaks.
I could be wrong. I'm just saying it's coming up. We got less than a quarter to go for our next, probably
Yeah,
all online.
Either they'll do it the 29th or the 6th because launch day is normally on the third Friday of the month, right? Which would be the 18th, which is, by the way, my birthday. So if that happens, it'll be Tim's special gift to me on my
Just
birthday.
Nick.
Just
How about
Nick.
just an iPhone to Nick and no one else?
Please, let's do that. I'll be the only one with an iPhone 12 Pro Max, XDR display, X Plus,
All the things.
all of the things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they pushed it back to the event to the 22nd or 29th and not release the phones until either the 25th or the 2nd of October.
There were a few supply chains claiming they were ready to release on schedule. So I'm going to guess 2 of the iPhones come out in October and maybe another 2 in November.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess.
They've done this before.
Yeah, the
10R was
10R.
in October.
Yeah.
And the iPhone 10 was in November, whereas the iPhone 8s were in September. There was actually 2 months between those launches, despite them both being unveiled at the same time.
Why was the
So-
10R delayed?
I think it had something to do with the new liquid retina displays. They were not really building those the prior year, so it was kind of a new supply chain they had to set up. And so they were a little bit low on supply at first, but they caught up because it ended up outselling everything. But yeah, they're not afraid to announce stuff a couple months early because I think Apple's very happy with the timing of. Oh no, you need to get tested. You just stick
No.
the Apple Pencil way up. And no, the Apple's very happy with the like hype built in September. People come out. Well, maybe not this year, but people are excited for the rollout. People buy them. They talk about them, and then there's all types of news articles and YouTubers talking about the new iPhone right before the holidays, which is when everyone decides to buy all kinds of stuff, and that includes the new iPhone. So, I think they like the way the releases have been in the past. That's why they've done September so many years in a row now. So I think there's something about announcing it in September that they like, that they want to stick to. Black Friday, that kind of thing.
I don't know.
They might delay it a little, but Dub Dub was still in June. It was later than usual, but it was still June. So that's how I see it. Could be instead of the first Tuesday, it could be like the last Tuesday or something like that.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Do you
though.
think it'll be another one of these virtual ones, or do you think they'll have a
Yep.
limited amount of press? Okay.
Nope. I don't think they'll do any press, physical presence. I think
But okay, it was fine when it was all software because everyone got the betas, and got to play with it. But like, I don't think a lot of their press comes from the hands-on that these YouTubers do. So, I mean, it's possible. I guess they could do more, pre-release units that are what is it called?
True. They've done that.
Yeah, just send them out to Marquez and the like.
Yeah, all the YouTubers get them a little bit early, and then could make their videos on them. Honestly, we might actually get better hands-on content because now the YouTubers get to use them a little.
Steve Jobs Theater.
We don't have to. No, they'll be at the Steve Jobs Theater. Just no one will be there.
Yeah, it'll be Craig in an empty room, which was my
I
life.
I love the production value of Dub Dub.
Just me sitting in an empty room talking to a screen and a camera. That's my life. Thanks, Craig.
That's all Apple is going to be in the future. There's less and less meetups, but yeah, with the rise of cases and Apple now shutting down a bunch of Apple stores, they are the company that will be overly cautious. And even if cases are going down in September, they still will do it online just to be safe. They don't like that look. Even if it was like minimal press, they wouldn't like that look it would give. So I think they're still gonna do a whole online, just like they did Dub Dub with the live stream, but everything's well edited. Ooh, they could be working on it right now. What if they're like? How long does it take them to film this thing? Maybe they'll film
Craig
it next month.
Talked about that on the Waveform podcast very briefly, and he was like, in May or something is kind of when they decided that they were going to do it virtually, and they were trying to be creative about how they could do something a little bit different. And I think he said like the beginning of June is when they shot it, and then like he was watching it at home 2 weeks later with his kids. I'll have to re-listen to that. Someone correct me in the comments, but
so it was only a couple of weeks worth of editing.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
man,
I'm sure they spent
that's kind of amazing
millions on that, but that was pretty.
I wonder if that whole online presentation is more or less expensive than a in-person one.
Probably less expensive, honestly. If you're not
counting
more the
camera
use of
work.
Yeah, it's not like they're buying those cameras. Like they're contracting out some, Nathan type cinematographer, whoever already has a bunch of cool cameras.
But like a in-person event, all of the cameras are planted basically and on predetermined. They don't move, and it's just a live stream. Someone cuts between all the angles, and that's about it. Yeah. After it's done, it's done. But with this, it's like lots of editing with those drone shots between the different parts of the building and all the moves, and Craig sliding in to the angles, and
we can't forget Kevin dancing.
Yeah, get the Kevin dance every time, as well as those giant displays they had to have behind them.
Yeah, those displays were pretty impressive.
Yeah, all that stuff moved around. I bet. Yeah, I think you're right. I bet it's still cheaper.
Because with an in-person event, they feed everyone breakfast. They have, 1,000 Apple employees or something are doing crowd control and, doing the hands-on demo stuff. And
right, true.
So they're not going to have any of those, salaries to pay or whatever. And the behind the scenes of, I don't know if you've looked at the architecture of the Steve Jobs Theater in depth, which I definitely haven't, but like behind the stage, there's like double the size of the actual Steve Jobs Theater where everyone sits. There's like the backstage area, and there's like 20 or 30 people that are just running the presentation, like just in the back. And it's not the audio people, it's just like the projector people and the person who, there's like some people in the underneath the stage that raise and lower that little stand that comes out of the ground.
Oh,
and
right.
Like there's just so much production value that goes into the backside of it that requires more manpower because it's live, and you have to have more bodies. But when they do it pre-recorded, they don't have to. It's one guy with a camera boom and Craig, or maybe an audio guy too. But it's not as, the production value is higher, but it's not as big of a production.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I'm fine with either. I'm okay with another online event because we had that one for software. Now let's have one for hardware. And then hopefully maybe next year we can go back to live streams. But I guess it'll depend on how the world is burning by that point. We'll find out. We don't know at this point. Who knows? Maybe we'll have to keep doing online stuff.
Well, I think
another
we
year.
milked that one pretty good, don't you think, Drew?
Yeah.
Milked every piece of content out of the meager news, and Randy wasn't even here. We need to do the Randy rant. This is what we'll end on, folks.
Finally,
Personally, what
let's
I don't
talk about-
like about Randy
Okay.
is the fact that he has a more expensive car than me. That's the thing that I don't like most about Randy. And the fact that
He
he is
is
such
awful.
a talented artist is just really off-putting to me.
He's very caring.
Yeah,
He's
how
always
dare
willing
he?
to go the extra mile. Like, who does that?
I don't know. And he's just like always interested in how I'm feeling and how I'm doing on like a personal level. And it's like, dude, respect the boundaries already. Like,
Sure.
This is, yeah. You know, just to spite him, we're going to play the outro music that he wrote right now.
Thanks for watching / listening, everyone. Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Love you, Randy.
Ba-ba.